I remember walking in this garden of remembrance in 1966 with my father. It was the 50th anniversary of the Rising of 1916, and a great wave of patriotic sentiment swept the country. Here, they constructed a memorial which celebrated revolution, faith, and an idealized ancient world. At its centre, this sculpture of the mythical children of Lir, condemned by an evil stepmother to wander the oceans as swans until the coming of Christianity sets them free. It was intended as a symbol of national resurrection, but also to say to my generation and those that followed that we belonged to an unbroken line stretching back into a glorious Celtic past. Our leaders stressed our difference to the departed British. The idea of an ancient people of one faith was central to our identity. The real Irish were Gaelic and Catholic. In the Ireland of the mid-1960s, I knew little of an outside world or of the Ulster Protestants with their British identity. They seemed to me an alien tribe, marching to what the poet Louis MacNeice called the voodoo of the orange drums. But a decade later, in the mid-1970s, the story of Ireland I was being taught had changed. School was no longer an echo chamber of the like-minded. In the shadow of the Northern Troubles, the old certainties would not do. We were being asked to imagine a more complex set of Irish identities. The idea of Irishness, of what it meant to be an Irishman, that you grew up with, that I grew up with, was pretty simple, wasn't it?
I suppose it was a standard version. It was a Republican tradition, and you didn't see outside that. And we all marched to that song and to that drum, you know? It took a long time to change it.
When you came in here to teach people like me, did you have a sense, a feeling that you had to broaden our minds?
I suppose what I was trying to do was to show that there were other ways of looking at maybe the same thing. I always remember giving an essay, you know, Carson, Irish Patriot.
The great unionist, loyalist leader in the North.
I left it at that. I remember one could say, "Sir, that doesn't make any sense." I said, "How do you mean it doesn't make any sense?" I said, Carson wanted the union of Ireland and Britain. He wanted for what him was the best thing for Ireland. Now, can you say that he's not a patriot because he doesn't agree with you? I was trying to do that kind of thing.
And telling the true history is key to that, isn't it?
It is. But you see, you come back then, what's truth?
Walking the streets of Cork now, I find a city proud of its links with the world beyond, and willing to acknowledge a history made of many influences in which Irishness embraced different allegiances. Our story of Ireland begins by going back through a landscape marked by the change of centuries, through the scattering of tribes, the rise and fall of kings, through prosperity and war, and a revolution of faith.